Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I have taken a lesson. A client was saved for class 9th, which is written by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was the full name of Mahatma Gandhi. He was born in 1869 and died in 1948. Was an Indian nationalist leader. Nationalist leader means that he led the freedom struggle of India, so he was called the father of nation. He was born in Porbandar in the present state of Gujarat on October 2nd, 1869. Porbandar is a place which is located in Gujarat where he was born. And what was the date? October 2nd, 1869. Dear students, he received primary education from his homeland. Later on, he went to Europe for higher education where he got a law degree. In 1891, having been admitted to the bar, British bar, Gandhi returned to India and attempted to establish a law practice in Bombay, now Mumbai, with little success. As a lawyer, Gandhiji started practicing in Mumbai, but he did not get much success. 2 years later, an Indian firm with interest in South Africa, he retained him as a legal advisor in its office in Durban. He worked as a legal advisor with an Indian firm. Arriving in Durban, Gandhiji found himself treated as a member of inferior race. And the Indians were treated, we can say, inferior creatures. He was appalled at the widespread denial of civil liberties and political rights to Indians. Gandhiji was shocked. Appalled, dear students, appalled means shocked. Gandhiji was shocked to see the plight of Indians in South Africa. They were not given civil liberties and political rights. He led the struggle against the British. Struggle means freedom struggle of India against the British, and India got freedom in 1947. The passage here from Gandhiji's autobiography. The passage means how a client was saved. It has been taken from his autobiography, My Experiments with Truth. The passage emphasizes the importance of honesty in our lives. Honesty is not just the best policy, but the best virtue and the most valued principle. Gandhiji, through this lesson, he emphasizes the importance of honesty in our lives. Dear students, what means honesty? Honesty means the quality of being honest. We should be honest in every respect. We should not hesitate in speaking the truth. We should do our job in perfect manner. That means, dear students, honesty. Honesty is not just the best policy, but the best virtue. It is not only the best policy, but it is best virtue, means best quality, and the most valued principle. Valued means which has a worth, which has a value in our life. It has a great value. Honesty has a great value and great worth in our lives. Dear students, I want to tell you the important thing regarding the great personality. Gandhiji never accepted, as a liar, he never accepted false cases, wrong cases. He only accepted true cases. The reader by now will be quite familiar with Parsi Rustamji's name. He was one who became at once my client and co-worker. Or perhaps it will be truer to say that he first became co-worker and then client. I won his confidence to such an extent that he sought and followed my advice also in private domestic matters. The reader by now will be quite familiar. What quite familiar means here? Dear students, quite familiar means fully acquainted. Fully acquainted. Fully convergent. We can also fully convergent. With whose name? With Parsi Rustamji's name. He was one who became. Gandhiji was going to describe that he was one who became at once immediately. My client means his client. What means client? Dear students, client means a person who gets the advice from a liar. From a liar. Who gets advice from a liar. And another term is here, co-worker. Co-worker. Co-worker means a person that somebody works with. Well, he was also a co-worker. He was also a colleague of Gandhiji. Who? Rustamji. Well, he was not only his client but also his co-worker. I won his confidence to such an extent. I means the Gandhiji. Gandhiji gained his confidence, his trust to such an extent that he means Rustamji sought and followed my advice, that he was ready to follow his advice. Rustamji was ready to follow his advice, to follow his instructions, also in private domestic matters. Domestic matters means the matters. Domestic matters means, dear students, the matters which are connected with his home or family. With his home or family. Any matter regarding his home or family at that time, he consulted Gandhiji. Even when he was ill, he would seek my aid. When Rustamji fell, Gandhiji was going to describe that when Rustamji fell ill, he seek my aid means he seek his aid. Aid means, dear students, aid, help, assistance. Help, assistance. And though there was a much difference between our ways of living, he did not hesitate to accept my correct treatment. And though there was a much difference between our ways of living, but there was a much difference between their ways of living, he did not hesitate. Rustamji did not hesitate to accept his correct treatment, even though he was not a doctor, even though he was not a surgeon. Still, he has a strong belief in Gandhiji. That means he accepts only his correct treatment. What means, dear students, correct treatment? A person who pretends to have knowledge of medicine, which he does not possess. Which he does not possess. Dear students, correct treatment. Gandhiji was not having a knowledge about the medicines, but a person who pretends to have knowledge about the medicines, that is called correct treatment. He is not a doctor. He was not a surgeon. Still, he consulted the Gandhiji for treatment. This friend once got into a very bad scrape. Though he kept me informed of most of his affairs, he had steadily kept back one thing, that he was a large importer of goods from Bombay and Calcutta, and not infrequently he resorted to smuggling. This friend, Gandhiji was friend here means Rustamji. Rustamji was his friend. He fell into a very difficult situation, bad scrape. Dear students, bad scrape. Bad scrape means difficult situation. Once he was in a difficult situation. Once Rustam ji was in a difficult situation, though he kept me informed most of his affairs. Gandhiji was informed by Rustam ji most of his affairs, but the one thing that he did not disclose at that time, that he was a large importer of goods from Bombay and Calcutta, and not infrequently, he frequently made the use of smuggling, but this thing he did not disclose to Gandhiji at that time, before Gandhiji at that time. But as he was on the best terms with the custom official, no one was inclined to suspect him. That is why he was not suspected when he was involved in this wrongdoing. He was not suspected because he was on best terms with the custom officials. What means, dear students, inclined? Inclined to means feel, wish to. In charging duty, they usually take his invoice on trust. While charging their duty, they usually take his invoices. What means invoices? Invoices means goods. Invoice means list of things. List of, we can also say list of things. In charging duty, they usually take his invoice on trust. What means on trust? They do not check. On trust means without checking. So he was allowed to go without checking. Dear students, he was not stopped by the custom officials. He was allowed to go without checking. Some might even have connived at the smuggling. There were some among the custom officials who did not take notice of his wrongdoing. Who did not take notice. Here is also another phrase that is used by connived at. Connive at. Take no notice. Sorry, take no notice of wrongdoing. It means they do not take notice of his smuggling. What means, dear students, smuggle? Smuggling is, we can say, it is an evil that we should not involve ourselves in this thing. We must save ourselves from this evil. To get goods secretly into a country. So dear students, he was involved in smuggling. He was involved in this wrongdoing. That is why when it was not noticed by the custom official, that is why he continued. He did not want to give up, but he continued.